I never believed a few scribbled words could change everything. But that was before I found her list. It wasn't hidden well, just tucked inside the drawer of her bedside table, beneath a stack of folded receipts and hair ties. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for my watch, the one she'd borrowed weeks ago. What I found instead was a spiral notebook, a small pink one with the word "Dreams" pressed into the cover. When I opened it, I expected travel ideas or recipes. But there it was, written in her looping, confident handwriting. Wake up without him. The first line. The first wish. For a moment, I thought maybe it was part of some novel she was writing, or a lyric she'd liked. But then came the second line. Feel peace again. The third. Remember what happiness feels like. My heart didn't shatter. It just slowed down. A strange calm settled over me. I didn't rage, I didn't cry. I just stared at those words like they belonged to someone else's story. Her name is Emily, and for 9 years, she was the center of my world. We met in college. She studied literature, I majored in business. She used to say I grounded her, that my presence made her chaos bearable. I believed her. For years, I built our life around that, the steady one, the patient one, the provider. But somewhere along the line, I became the background. Our conversations became short, polite exchanges. A "Hey, you good?" followed by a nod. The warmth faded, replaced by silence that filled the house like fog. That notebook explained what words between us never had. She didn't want to fix things. She wanted out. That night, she came home from dinner with friends, glowing in the porch light. I almost asked her about the list. I almost begged for an explanation. But instead, I just smiled, kissed her cheek, and said, "You look happy tonight." She nodded, distracted, scrolling through her phone. "It was a good night," she said softly, not looking up. I remember watching her cross the living room, barefoot, the hem of her dress brushing against her legs, and realizing I didn't recognize her anymore. The woman I'd fallen in love with had become a stranger who dreamed of a life without me. So, the next morning, I decided to give her exactly what she wanted. When she woke up, I was gone. No note, no message. My phone was off, my clothes gone from the closet, the keys to the house left on the counter beside her coffee mug. I booked a small cabin 2 states away, quiet, surrounded by woods, no signal, no noise. For the first few days, it was like I'd stepped outside my own body. I watched the sun rise over the lake, heard nothing but birds and wind. I waited for the ache to come, the anger, the regret. But it didn't. Not yet. A week passed before I finally turned my phone back on. Dozens of missed calls. Her name over and over. No voicemails, just texts, short, frantic, confused. "Where are you? This isn't funny. Please, Ethan, talk to me." Her messages came in waves, anger, worry, then something else, something softer. I scrolled back up, reading the first ones again. They felt desperate, not guilty. She didn't sound like a woman relieved to have her wish come true. She sounded like someone who'd just realized what she'd actually asked for. And that's when it hit me. She wanted to wake up without me, but she never imagined what it would actually feel like. She wanted freedom, not emptiness. She wanted silence, not loneliness. She wanted peace, but not the kind that echoes through an empty house. 2 weeks passed before she finally found me. I didn't make it hard. A joint account, a shared car tracker, small clues left behind like crumbs. Maybe a part of me wanted her to find me. Maybe I wanted to see whether she'd still mean those words from her list when she stood in front of me. She arrived on a Sunday afternoon. I heard her car before I saw it. The crunch of tires on gravel, the soft slam of the door. When she stepped out, her eyes were swollen, her hair tied carelessly back. She looked smaller somehow, like the air had been pressed out of her. "Ethan," she said, her voice barely carrying. "What are you doing?" I didn't answer right away. I poured her a cup of coffee. She always drank it black, 2 sugars. Her fingers trembled when she took it. "I read your list," I said quietly. Her eyes widened. "My what?" "Your wish list," I continued. "The one that started with 'wake up without him.' Wish granted, right?" Her mouth parted like she might speak, then closed again. A flicker of shame passed through her face, but she didn't deny it. "I didn't mean it like that," she whispered. "It was just a thought. I was angry that day." "Angry enough to write it down?" I asked. She looked away, her gaze fixed on the window. "I felt invisible, Ethan. Like I was living beside you, not with you." I should have argued, defended myself, reminded her of the nights I stayed up working, the dinners I planned, the quiet ways I tried to reach her. But I didn't, because in her eyes, I saw something worse than anger, regret. "I woke up without you," she said softly, "and I couldn't breathe. Everything felt wrong. The bed, the walls, even the light in the morning. It all felt wrong." She took a shaky breath. "I thought I wanted peace. What I really wanted was to stop feeling lonely. But it turns out, I only felt lonely because I pushed you away." For the first time in a long while, I saw the woman I'd fallen for, vulnerable, real, stripped of the armor she'd built between us. But something inside me had shifted too. Her absence hadn't destroyed me. It had shown me how much of myself I'd buried to keep us alive. "I didn't leave to punish you," I said. "I left because you'd already left. You just hadn't packed yet." She nodded slowly, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I know. And I'm sorry." Silence stretched between us. Outside, the lake glimmered in the afternoon sun, still and unforgiving. "Can we start over?" she asked finally, her voice barely a whisper. "I'll do better. We both can." For a moment I imagined it, us laughing again, rebuilding what had been broken. But then I remembered the list. Wake up without him. Feel peace again. She had written those words long before she felt regret. They weren't an accident. They were a reflection of who she had become when I wasn't enough anymore. "You got your wish," I said gently. "And I got mine." She frowned, confused. "What was your wish?" "To finally believe you." Her face crumpled, and for a second I thought she might fall apart completely. But she didn't. She just nodded, as if she understood something unspoken, that some wishes, once granted, can't be undone. When she left, the sun was setting. I watched her taillights disappear down the winding road until there was nothing left but dust and the faint echo of what we'd been. Later that night, I opened the same notebook. I turned past her words until I found a blank page. I took a pen and wrote one sentence. "Wake up at peace, and mean it." Then I closed it, placed it back in the drawer, and finally, for the first time in years, slept through the night.